What is imposter syndrome? You know, this is something that I'm hearing more and more in my coaching, and it's something that's persisted since the 1970s, but it's becoming more and more common in modern society. You know, the clinical definition is that it's a collection of feelings that persist despite evidence of success. But what does that actually mean, you know? And I've been trying to explore this myself as a coach. By the time this video ends, you might have a better idea of what imposter syndrome is and the possible things that we can do to address it. Based on this definition, imposter syndrome suggests that no matter the extent of someone's skills and how much effort they put into things, they're never going to believe that they're good enough to achieve what they've achieved. They're always going to doubt their accomplishments, be it good grades, a position they've earned at work, or even something that they've created. And you know, this goes beyond perfectionism and comparing yourself to others, because this is actually something which is incredibly demotivating and can keep many people stuck in negative self-cycles. It's a very real and dangerous phenomenon that I encounter more and more in my day-to-day work, and I have to help coach young people to overcome this so they can fulfill their potential. You know, the thing that strikes me most about this topic is how common it is amongst modern society. You know, there's so many cases of women in big corporations or of people who've gone traveling or self-starters, entrepreneurs, and they all feel imposter syndrome to some extent. They all feel like it limits their belief, it limits their capacity to achieve. And you know, even celebrities are not immune to this, especially celebrities in creative industries. You know, for example, artists, models, actors, the likes of Ryan Reynolds, Emma Watson, Cara Delevingne. They've all spoken out on this topic. They've all said how it makes them feel insecure, how despite all their successes, there's something holding them back. There's some sort of belief that they're not quite good enough, that they're not as good as their peers around them. And you know, it's all right talking about celebrities and adults in modern day life trying to address these issues of imposter syndrome as they go about their day-to-day life, but even as adults, we're not equipped to deal with these challenges. So think about our young people and how that's impacting them, because there's been a lot of young people that I've worked with who have been facing imposter syndrome. You know, young people who are the first in their families to go to university, young people who are in creative industries, and a lot of these just don't have the capacity. They don't feel like they're good enough to achieve what they need to achieve. They've been conditioned in some way to feel like they can't achieve what they need to achieve. You know, I read an article the other day and it was about the London Academy of Excellence in Tottenham, and this is an academy which specialises in getting its young people into Oxford and Cambridge. But what he was finding was that a lot of these young people were the first in their families to go to university, and these young people were really struggling overcoming these educational barriers, these motivational barriers, because they felt like they weren't good enough. They felt like, you know, they're getting into these high pressure study situations and they feel like they're not as good as their peers. So what this school is doing is it's using money invested by Tottenham Hotspur, the football club, about £30,000 I believe, and it's using that to fund a support system for these young people, for counselling, for kind of motivational lessons and things like this, and they're trying to help the young people to overcome the realities of imposter syndrome. Imposter syndrome is so important to address, and you know, it's one of the first things that I explore with the young people I work with, because if we don't start to address imposter syndrome, it's already a limiting belief. It's already a self-fulfilling prophecy. You know, young people are never going to get through these barriers that they're facing. They're never going to truly understand what their passions are, what their talents are, and how to overcome those, and never going to reach their fullest potential. And the thing is that if we don't address it as adults, we're not going to be able to help the people around us. We're not going to be able to help the young people in our lives as well. So what I want to do for you now is give you a few easy tips that you can start to apply in your life to address imposter syndrome. So, number one, acknowledge and research imposter syndrome. This is something that's getting a lot more media coverage in modern days, and it's something that people are talking about more and more. By researching the examples of imposter syndrome within our field and just accepting it as a phenomenon, that's the first step in helping to overcome it. Step 2, confide in others. Now, this is something that I emphasize to young people as particularly important, to open up to those closest to them, somebody they can trust, whether that be a parent, one of their friends, a teacher, a mentor. Just really open up about these issues, because a lot of the time we can help to reshape their reality. We can help to emphasize their positive traits and the things that they're actually good at, rather than them being stuck in this cycle where they're comparing themselves to their peers. And if as an adult you're watching this video and you're looking for a bit of guidance, then talk to your colleagues, talk to people in your industry, because a lot of the time, a lot of people in the same industry are experiencing the same thoughts and feelings, and it's only by opening up to each other and engaging in progressive discussions that we can really start to overcome this phenomenon. Step 3, record all accomplishments and remember to celebrate them. It doesn't matter how you want to do this. This might be a journal, a diary, part of a reflective practice, it might be showing off on social media even. However you want to do it, however you gain satisfaction, remember to celebrate how far you've come and how far you are to achieving that overall goal. You know, this is something I emphasize to young people a lot. Like, every single time that they're working towards their goal, that should be celebrated. If they're working towards a particular deadline or a particular goal, they should break that down into easy to manage steps, and every time they achieve one of those steps, there should be some sort of celebration, just so that they know how far they're coming and they're not comparing themselves to other people all the time. Step 4, recognize the process. Now, this is something that I find particularly important to emphasize to young people in the pursuit of their dreams. You know, they're not going to achieve everything they want to achieve overnight. It needs to be part of a longer process with manageable steps, and they need to not compare themselves to others throughout this process. As long as they're working towards their goal, as long as they're recognizing that they're becoming better human beings day by day and they're working towards that goal, then that's all that anyone can expect of us. As human beings, we're going to make mistakes, we're going to have setbacks, but it's so important to practice that resilience and figure out where we go when we have those setbacks. And I just want to leave you with one final thought, and this is by a motivational speaker called Dennis Waitley, and he said that it's not what you are that holds you back, it's what you think you're not. And my advice to you is to make these changes day to day in your perception that are going to help you in the long term. You know, you're not going to address imposter syndrome overnight, but day by day you can change your reality. Day by day you can gain a little bit more confidence in who you are, what you are to become, and understand that there's nothing truly holding you back. Okay, thank you for watching. Please like, share this video far and wide, help the young people in your lives. And also, if you've had any experiences of imposter syndrome, if you've got any strategies to overcome, we learn as a community, please leave comments in the section below. Let's have a discussion about this. All right, thank you very much. Bye-bye.